Welcome to the More Than Music podcast, everybody. I'm Cheryl Jackson. And of course, it's our business edition. And I have in studio with me my partner in, I don't want to say crime, my partner in Christ, DJ Soul. Hey, brother.
Hey, how you doing? It's been like, I don't know, yesterday.
Forever.
Oh, forever.
I mean, forever for us to work together.
Yes.
Well, maybe a month now, because
Yes.
we did something like a month ago.
Correct.
But I am excited to have you. Thank you for doing my second installation.
Listen,
of More Than Music.
I appreciate the honor and being here.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. All right, guys. So listen, DJ Soul is my DJ. You always hear me say it. If you listen to the midday show at Praise 104.1, I always say, that's my DJ, right? But listen, about 10 years ago, we got together.
Yes.
And you started doing the Praise Power mix.
Correct.
On the midday show. And from there, we forged a relationship because every single day we decided we wanted to go live,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And we created a whole community we called the Praise Power Crew, which was really powerful. It was a group of people from all over the world. Remember, we have viewers that was watching from like from Asia and Ethiopia and Africa.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and of course here and across, the West Coast was tuning in.
Yes.
We had such a great group of people that is still, if I go live right now, we're thinking that the Praise Power Crew is probably peaking in right now. Right?
I know they are.
Yeah. But we created this community because it was just a fun hour of you doing your gift.
Yes.
Of mixing music, and it was gospel music, and just people all over the world witnessed it, and we would talk to each other. We dealt with each other. We had health scares doing it, death in our family. We had some issues, and we kind of walked through each other's lives, right?
Yes.
It was amazing. So that forged a relationship between DJ Soul and I. So he really is my brother, and I'm excited to have you today.
Once again, thank you again for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yes.
All right. So let's start from the beginning. Okay. I know that you are a jack of all trades. So people don't know that you do home improvement. You're a plumber. You're a musician. And of course they know you from Blessed in the City, your company that you DJ, from where you DJ and do entertainment. You produced radio shows. You've done shows people don't know. You just kind of said, I'll do it and jump in there to do it. So let's start from the beginning. When did you know, first off, that you had a gift for music?
I want to say maybe I was 10 years old.
Wow.
So I grew up under two pastors, my mom and dad pastors. And so they wanted to start a church, and they didn't have a musician. So my dad said, play the piano. I'm like, I don't play a piano. And so I sat there, and my dad just went with it. I'm banging the keys, but nothing's really coming out. No real good music. And so he took us and went to a piano teacher and taught us how to play. But I realized I couldn't read. I could read the music, but I didn't want to read the music. But I could hear it and play it.
Okay.
So I would fake it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I got this. And so I was faking playing piano, and the lady thought I was reading it, but I heard what she played, and I mocked it.
Wow.
And so I realized, I said, man, I have a gift. Now, my sister did help me out. She did the piano as well, and she can read, and she does it well. My older sister, she does it well. And I was like, man. So I learned a lot from my older sister, Shelly Harris, and then, me faking and having the gift to hear. And so I was like, man, all right, I got a gift to hear. And that's where the gift of hearing come from.
Wow.
Of the music. Yes.
So I didn't know your parents were pastors.
No, we're gonna get some
as
stuff
much as
today.
I've loved Mother Harris and shouted her out, and even met her and hugged on her and everything. I didn't know they were pastors.
Yep, they both pastors. They had their own church. My dad was charismatic, and he loved the men's choir, and he would teach the men's choir, and he felt, all right, I feel the anointing. I need to start my own church.
And so he was self-ordained or whatever?
No, they did ordain him. Yes, they did ordain him. And then my mom came along and they started the church, and he just started with us. And he started his own school as well.
Wow.
So we were homeschooled at some point.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you still play by ear?
Yes.
Okay.
I still play by ear, but in the plumbing trade, I met a guy, I think his name was Irvin. Okay. And he said, if you learn how to read, you really get paid. And I go, okay. So I went back to learn how to read from Patrick Austin, and he taught me how to read music. And now I can read and play by ear.
But you prefer to play by ear?
Yes. I prefer that. Yes.
Which is probably why you're so great at being a DJ, because I learned from you how you mix with speed and how you match the speeds and how you blend music, right? Which is an art. Yeah. And so when I hear other DJs and I don't hear that perfect blend, you kind of spoiled me a bit.
I got you.
On that.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
All right. So at some point, so 10 years old, here you are now in the minister of music of your parents' church. Right? You and your sister.
Yes. Yes.
You and your sister. And then you move on and you end up in military. You're in the Navy.
Yes. But before then.
Okay.
I went into plumbing.
Oh, so you learned plumbing as a trade?
Yes.
Got you.
So I was in plumbing for a minute, and I wanted to be a knucklehead.
Oh.
And that's the reason that drove me.
How are you a knucklehead and you're a PK?
Because I hate to say this, most PKs are sometimes knuckleheads.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, Lord. Yes. Yes. So most of them, because for me, I was a little defiant. I didn't want to cooperate. And I had an attitude the whole time. Wow. I'm playing the piano with a mug, mad. And they're like, how am I doing this? So I went into plumbing and I realized plumbing wasn't it for me. And my dad suggested I go into the military, and I did it. Actually,
so this was like a disciplinary action, it sounded like to me.
Yes, correct.
So, I think because growing up, was it because you had to spend so much time in church? And so I know, being a youth pastor and also raising my children in church, we made it mandatory for them to go, right? They had to be in church, they had to do all the youth church and all those things, but we gave them a healthy balance too, right? So we enrolled them in things, we allowed them to do activities at school. I realized that some friends and things that I grew up with wasn't able to do any of that. So when they became adults, they started wilding a little bit, or when they got teenagers, they start rebelling. Do you think that's why you began to kind of become a knucklehead?
Well, I think part of it was the apostolic doctrine that I was raised under.
Okay.
At that time, I thought it was too strict. And I think because I was the only boy that I was getting the blunt of all of everybody's mistakes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you're the only boy out of, what, you have 2 sisters?
2 sisters.
Gotcha.
We do have an adopted brother. So we call him my brother. But in all actuality, there's only 3 of us.
Got you. Yes. Got you. And where do you fall in line?
I'm in the middle.
Okay.
I'm in the middle.
So you got the middle child syndrome.
Yes.
You're the only boy.
Yes.
And you getting the brunt of everything.
Yes. All the problems. Yes. So if my sisters mess up, I get in trouble for their mess ups. Like I'm the fault. I say, okay, all right. So that's what I guess that's where the define came, because I didn't understand it at that time.
Got you. Yeah. Got you. So I'm in your business.
Come on.
Come on. You got plumbing. You did plumbing. And then for discipline, your dad sent you to the Navy, right?
Yes.
But then you got married young too, right?
Yes.
Talk about that.
So
because that's a trend coming up. I know that a lot of my friends who were apostolic or Pentecostal, not just even apostolic, right? But they got married like straight out of high school, right?
Yes. You're right.
They took that scripture, is better to marry than to burn.
And my dad told me, he said, can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? So he was like, ain't no way y'all just hugging and kissing. Y'all about to do something else.
Oh, the fire in your bosom.
Yeah, so you might as well go in and get married. But in all actuality, right after the military, there was one particular person who would write while I was in the military.
Got you.
And so that person who was writing me And sometimes I related back to prison, but it's not prison. But she was writing me. I was like, oh, shucks. Well, when I come home, maybe we'll connect. And I connected with her. And she was a little younger, a lot younger than what I was. Hey, it's out there.
Yeah.
And so we got married at a young age. I think she just turned 17.
Really?
Yes.
She wasn't even 18.
No. And I think her mom had to sign for her.
Got you.
That's how young it was. And
why y'all get married? So yeah.
We were apostolic. And so her dad, granddad, really, Bishop Everett, yeah, he was like, not up in here. Y'all gonna have to do something. So I said, I'll marry her today. And that's what happened.
Wow.
Yep. I got up in school, up in the church and said, if y'all not gonna tell me I can't call her my wife, he said, don't call her your wife if she ain't your wife. I said, well, I'll marry her today. And sure enough, I don't think my sisters showed. I think my mom and dad came, but my sisters weren't there. Nobody really was there because I did it on the whim.
So y'all got married that day?
Yes.
So?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
You have to see.
You know what, though? How many stories are common like that, though, of young people just, I know I'm not putting them out there, but JJ and Trina always talk about their marriage being a miracle marriage because they got married young, too. And he got married to his wife and went home, and she went home until her father found out, y'all married?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you got to come get her. I was like, really? Like teenagers, though.
And I ain't going to lie to you. I sent her back to her mom after we got married. I said, go back home. And it's like, she need to come back with you.
So did she finish school?
Yeah, she finished school. She did finish school, but I don't think I was prepared for her because at the time I was raising pit bulls. Yes, I know there's a lot of stories in this. I was raising pit bulls.
Right.
And so my pit bulls were accustomed to me, but they were not accustomed to my wife. And my ex-wife my wife at that time.
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah.
And so that was the first problem y'all dealt with.
Yes.
You and your dog.
Yeah, correct.
We're going to get back to your musical gift in a few moments, but this is really intriguing. But there's a lot to unfold there. You know what I mean? About the custom of churches, demanding in that day for you to be married so young. And how many marriages survives that? It's some that has, right? Some that has, but a lot that hasn't.
Yes.
Right? And so that was the beginning of y'all marriage. You ended up with 2 children.
Correct.
And raising 2 kids. How long did your marriage last?
I think about 7 years. It lasted about 7 years. Oh. And then we came to an agreement that this is not going to work. And we just departed on that. But some things that maybe folks don't know is that my ex-wife is the cousin of Jonathan Nelson's wife.
Got you. I remember you saying
that. And that's how, we are connected in some way.
Okay. All right. Because y'all married into each other's families, you and Jonathan.
Correct.
I remember you saying that. Right. So, wow. All right. So married young, 2 children, and now you're still playing music, right?
Correct.
You're still in the church. Is this like your vocation at this point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I got to be honest. My wife at that time was not happy that I chose to do piano playing and organ in the churches and quit plumbing.
Right. Because it wasn't money.
It wasn't there. There was no money. There was no money coming in. Correct.
I can imagine.
Jesus.
And we had these conversations. We would be in studio where I would find out these things about you, but it's really, really intriguing. And the silver lining is how God has allowed you to really grow this musical gift.
Amen.
So how did you start DJing? From now you're playing, not plumbing anymore.
Correct.
But now you're playing. And so how did you end up DJing?
All right. So I have a love for God and I have a love for God's music. At that time, at that age that I was when I started it, and I want to say, I think I did my first mixtape back in 1995, 96. And what I had an issue with was all the songs seemed so heavy, meaning doom,
the lyrics,
doom and gloom. you know, you know, all of those. And
rough
so,
side of
yeah,
the
and I don't mean, but it just seems so heavy. And I was
Mhm.
like, I used to go to the parties. Why is my music? I love God. Why is his music so heavy on
Right.
me? So I decided to take the secular beats that I heard,
Mhm.
and I said, what if I put that in with this climbing up and see how that sounds? And I did it. I was like, oh, that sounds good.
Mhm.
And I started adding to my record collection, and I started putting something together. I did a mixtape. My sister took one of the mixtapes, gave it to one of her friends. Everybody loved it. I was like, oh, I think I got a thing here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know what? People think that that just happened because you're starting to see like on social media, because now you're able to share your gifts, right? So
Mhm.
I was watching even during the pandemic how you would see DJs saying little things like, you know, I love Jesus, but I'm a little ratchet, or I'm in
Yeah.
church, but I'm a little ratchet. And then they would get like thousands and thousands of followers. But people don't know you did that back in 1996.
Yes.
I got married in 96. So that's 28 years ago.
Yes. Yes. That's how long I've been doing this.
Wow.
Yes.
So how is it received? I mean, how was it received back then? Because even now, some people are a little, I don't know. Because even remember, we would do the mixes and we would go
Yes,
live, and they
yes.
would be like,
This-
"Why y'all dancing like that? Well, why y'all?" You know what I mean? We would get
Yes.
some of that feedback too. So
Yeah.
how was it back in 96 when you?
Oh my Lord,
Were you-
crucify him. Yes. Oh man, what in the world? So yes, most people, because like I shared, I was in the apostolic doctrine,
Mhm.
and they were not having that.
Mhm.
So I had to deal with that. And then most of the Methodists didn't do music. So
Right.
it was
They
like,
ain't even clap. pretty
yeah,
much.
so those things, they were rough. And I was like, I need to find somebody who loves this. And so some of the Baptists caught hold on it.
Okay.
And then I think some non-denominations, they're like, oh, we like this.
Mhm.
And so I found that niche or that group of people.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, I'm gonna work with them.
Started servicing them.
Yes.
But you don't only do gospel, right?
Correct.
Because you do all kinds of music.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
I've seen you do, I mean, because your wife is Puerto Rican, so I've seen
Correct.
you do some Puerto Rican parties
Yes.
too.
Yes.
So wow. So yes, I guess you had to learn to expand, right?
Yes.
So do you have a coalition of DJs that you guys get together and work on your craft, or how do you continue to get better?
Well, can I start here?
Mhm.
There was a guy that my sister, I told you, shared, that she shared the tape with.
Yeah.
His name is Craig Brower. So Craig, he liked music.
Mhm.
He grew up on music,
Mhm.
especially hip hop. And so hip hop raised him. But when he heard my mix, it changed him.
Hmm.
He said, wow, I really like this.
Mhm.
So he came into the group. I said, all right, we're a group now. And I said, what should we call it? And so the name was going to be Change Breaker or Chain Breaker. Chain Breaker.
And Dietrich Haddon took it?
No, Dietrich had it already. And it messed up my homeboy. He was like, no, Dietrich Haddon already has it.
Right.
So he said, what about Blessed in the City? We argued all day.
Mhm.
And I said, Blessed in the City it is. I like it. And so that's how it started. And it started with Craig and I. And then moving forward, folks saw what we were doing and they wanted to be a part. And then I added more DJs to the Blessed in the City.
Oh, so Blessed in the City is a coalition of
Correct.
DJs.
Correct.
Wow. Wow. I love that. So, okay, so now you got this music, you got this whole blend. Now you got Blessed in the City. How'd you end up on radio?
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go. So one day, Spirit 1400 in Baltimore, because I'm raised in Baltimore. Spirit 1400 was at Shake and Bake on the Avenue.
So that's a skating rink.
Yes, thank you so much. See,
like,
that's why
I think a chicken plays. Like, what is Shake and Bake?
This is why that's why you do it. Yeah, give me the DJ system. All right, so Shake and Bake, the skating place, and they were there. And back then we were doing CDs, and so I saw the Spirit 1400 van, and I put a CD on the windshield wiper, left it, and walked away. I said, all right, Lord, if something comes out of it, something comes out of it. And sure enough, the girl, Ruth Sumner, I don't know if y'all remember.
Oh, I know Ruthie. Ruthie is like my sister. Like, Like her sister Naomi is like my god sister.
Oh, okay.
So Ruth was working in promotions at the time. I remember.
So Ruth is the reason why I got into radio.
Shut up.
She got the CD off the windshield wiper, put it in because now back then they had CD players.
Right.
She put it in there and she was listening. She's like, oh, this is pretty good. This ain't too bad. And so she called me. I put the number on the CD and she called me and she says, I have an event for you. Now, this is what it pays. And then I did the event for Spirit 1400 with that pay. And I told Craig at the time, I said, this is what we'll charge as long as we can. And the pay was like $250.
Wow.
And so
they had that for you?
Yes. Back then they had $250 for me for a prom, for a Christian prom. And listen, I took out speakers that was leaning. It had 3 wheels. 3 wheels. 1 wheel was missing. Listen, y'all. I don't know, man. We were just putting it all together. I didn't know how big this thing was going to be, but I had faith, and I knew this thing was going to be big. So, yep, I went out there with the leaning speakers and played it. The folks enjoyed it, even with the leaning speakers. And then Ruth said, hey, I got a position here. It's not paying, but you can come over. And so I went on and did a promotion assistant.
Oh.
Yeah, for free.
For free.
For free. Because back then, it was all about sowing your time first and letting them see what you can do. And then the bigger, I saw the bigger picture.
Yeah. The awesome thing is that before Ruthie got to Spirit 1400, I actually was promotions director for Spirit 1400 and WOLB.
Come on.
And so Ruthie was in New York. And so again, her sister Naomi and I, were in Salisbury, and Naomi is younger. So it was like a big sister for her. And then of course, because Ruthie being her sister, she stayed in New York while they went in Salisbury.
Okay.
And then when she came, then we all kind of connected. And so when Naomi moved back up here and her mom and everybody, Ruthie came down here from New York and started working and in the position I had.
Yeah.
And so I see this timeline.
Yeah, it is.
When you said Ruthie saw you, I was like, yeah, because she was now Jeff's assistant. She was promotion. She was doing all the things, programming, doing all of that. So now I see the connection. I gotta hit Ruthie and say, I didn't even know.
Yeah, she's the reason. She's the reason. Now, how did I get on radio?
Yeah.
Because I'm not on radio.
No,
yet.
yeah, because now you're just doing promotions. Yeah.
Yes, for free.
You keep iterating
because it was free,
right?
Because most people nowadays they want some change to do the things that we were doing for free,
right?
And I guess that's where we are now. But anyway, moving forward.
I'm not going to even tell you. I was promotions director, music director, and then I was working for Jeff Majors, who's a musician. He was actually just releasing Sacred One, his first record.
Okay.
Out doing promotion. So I was program director.
Come on.
Spirit 14. And I had a show on weekends. So I worked literally 7 days a week at the radio station before I got married. 7 days a week. Wow. And I can't even, if I tell you how much I was making.
I got you. I already understand. Don't worry about it.
I understand.
I don't know if the audience
it was, you couldn't have taught that kind of experience ever. So I was able to take those skills to the next station, which was Heaven 1580.
Okay.
And so we made history at Heaven 1580, but I was able to literally learn from the ground up and all of those capacities, running, what it was like running promotions. Yeah. You drive back then, we was doing van hits and you don't see a lot of it no more.
That's correct.
We was out in the street.
Yes.
We was doing those and would be dog tired, but still having to program the radio station, still having to do the job. And so, you got interns now that's looking for you to get them coffee. Like, what is going on?
Listen, I worked so much with the van. I used to take the van home.
Right.
They thought Spirit 1400 was at my house.
You weren't supposed to do that.
I know. Well,
insurance purposes.
Well, see, back then they didn't have like the garages. Did they?
Yes, they did, because they had them before.
All right.
Before you got there.
Hopefully y'all can edit that part. Spirit 1400 was right in front of my house. They were like, this Spirit 1400 right here? Anyway, so moving forward, how did I get in radio? So I DJ'd a Jeff Majors, you spoke of Jeff Majors record. and I put it behind his Weight in the Water, and I put it behind a Babyface instrumental. And then Mike Jones got a chance to hear it. Now, what happened?
So Jeff Majors, let's give history for those who don't know. Jeff Majors is a harpist, or amebis, I think he called himself, is what it was. And he played the harp. He actually played the harp for my wedding.
What?
Yeah, we had him do my wedding march. He played the harp for my wedding, but he was my boss, of course. And he ran the gospel and inspiration format for Radio 1 back in those days.
Yes.
So I was his assistant, like Ruthie. Then Ruthie ended up doing that. Yeah.
Yep. So I remixed his Weight in the Water.
Okay.
And Mike Jones heard it. Okay. I didn't know who Mike Jones was at the time. Mike Jones put it on Magic 95.9. And it played.
Mike did. He was jack of all trades back then. He did sales, programming. He had his own show. I know on WOL and OLB, he created like farming and food deserts and all of that. So he's major.
Yes. So at the time, I didn't know. So he took the record. I did not know. He put it on Magic. I did not know.
Wow.
I get a phone call from Jeff Majors and said, "Who told you to do that?" At that time.
Right.
Because I don't know that Jeff really knew about what I did. Because I've never ran into him at the station. So he says, "Come to the house and recreate what you did. But we got to pull that record," because I didn't know about permission. Because they were playing the record like it was his record.
Oh.
And he didn't, because he didn't get permission from Babyface, had to pull the record. I didn't make it for that reason.
Right, you just
I just was mixing, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to put it there. So he said, come over to the house.
So what about the laws about that now? Because you mix now different beats on top of other people's music.
But now it's a DJ segment. Like, so I do it in the DJ segment. Now, if I try to give you
sell it or got you,
or give you to play it like it's their record without permission, then we have
so you have issues. DJs that give away their mixes.
Yes,
like I see people and folk ask you for your mix all the time,
and I give it to them for free.
Got you. So if it's monetary exchange, then it's
something else. Okay. Yes. Now I can sell a T-shirt and give you the mix, and sell a T-shirt for like $40, and that's how I don't know.
Are you talking about how you scamming the people?
No, not scamming the people. I'm trying to find a way to make, this is a business.
Wait, you just said that on my podcast.
No, I'm saying I'm going to sell a T-shirt. All right. Anyway, all right, move forward.
So now artists will say, well, how they get their royalties if you selling their music?
Hey, man, no.
You selling T-shirts?
I'm selling T-shirts. The people are getting T-shirts. They are getting T-shirts. Yes. But I don't sell mix. And nobody's taking CDs no more. You got to have an MP3 or something like that. So
I love you so much.
So
this is what I would get every single day. All right, guys, if you watching the podcast on any of our platforms, make sure you like it and you share it. I see a few Praise Power Crew members on, so make sure you guys share it on your page and tell everybody about it so they'll know Soul and I are back together and we're talking about his history in this music business.
Correct.
All right, so now you've got this mixtape now that Jeff Majors see you and you're doing all kinds of stuff. You fixing stuff at their house now because they know you can do that. You got stuff at the radio station. And then you start playing for Jeff, right?
When he asked me to recreate that mix,
he
gave me a keyboard. He didn't give me a DJ table. He gave me a keyboard and he said, recreate this. And I said, I didn't play it. I DJ'd it.
Yeah.
And so that's when I really thought that he did not quite understand what I did. Yeah.
So he thought you altered his music.
Correct. With a keyboard.
Got you.
Yes. I blended it with
another song.
Yeah, 2 records. So, and then that got me into getting closer to Jeff Majors, Miss Hughes. And so I'm starting to learn more about the business part.
Got you.
Yeah.
Got you. But you, like I said, you ultimately started playing for him, right?
I was his engineer. I was his sound engineer.
Got you.
Yes,
okay, because I know you traveled with him.
Correct,
I was like, wait a minute, did you play for him?
Correct. No. So I was a sound engineer. For one thing about me, people probably don't know, and y'all, I don't know. I like to be in the background. I know you don't look like it. I'd rather be in the background.
No, I do know, because working with you, you always want to make me talk. You always want to push me out front, and you just kind of mix. Whereas I see other DJs kind of like engaging the crowd or whatever, and you always like, say something, do something. I'm like, bruh, you mix it. But that's, I think, what makes us a great pair. You know, when we get together is because I do like interacting with people. I like dancing. I like doing those things, and I like the ministry portion of it. And those times were so amazing. You know, I go back and I look at our memories, and we used to do videos every day before we would do the mix, and he would just make me laugh so much because you would just be silly. Like it was, I like neck pieces and I like jewelry. So he would come in and recreate his, and he would have the stuff wrapped around his neck. And I'd be like, what are you doing? I'm matching your neck piece.
Yes. You're not going to outshine me. Don't do that. Yes, I got to get my neck piece out.
If I wore a turban, if I had something on my head, the next thing he got turban.
I gotta have it.
He got a scarf around his head.
Yes.
Silly. But it was time. But those were great times, I think. And again, because we had such a major audience that will tune in into us. So let's continue to talk about your history and Blessed in the City. So not only are you now DJing, now you met with Jeff Major, so you're on the road, you're engineering. It was times when you were able to produce a radio show for Tone.
Correct.
How did that happen?
So,
like, you're a jack of all trades. Like, you're a chameleon. You turn into all these different things. But talk about that.
Listen, I'm gonna go back to it, but I want to share this. That was one of my prayers. I wanted to be all things to everyone whenever they need it. So I don't know. I just wanted to be a help. That's all. I just wanted to be a help. So how did I get on the Tone? My friend Jean Austin. She was at the station when they started the One Love Gospel Cruise. And there was a young lady named Marsha Meadows that used to work there. And Jean called Marsha and said, hey, y'all got a DJ for the cruise? And Marsha said, no, do you know one? She said, yeah, right here. And I started talking to Marsha, and Marsha had me come to the first Radio One Love Gospel Cruise. And I did my mix there. They enjoyed it. They kept me going. I did 7 out of the 8 cruises. But while I was on the cruise, there was a company called, man, I forgot the Blue something. And please forgive me. It held the Donnie McClurkin show. Who was it? It was Donnie, Tone, and someone else.
BB, I think.
BB.
Yeah.
And then I think Erica and them came later.
Gotcha.
So they did not have anyone to write for Tone. When the guy called me, and I forget his name.
Gary Bernstein.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Gary Bernstein.
He started a lot of syndicated shows, and I love it too because he had an affection for gospel and inspiration. So he would create these celebrity shows. Yeah. So I think, and then he ended up doing Super Radio and stuff, right? So that's where Donnie is even now. Yeah.
So that's what it is. So Gary Bernstein called me and said, hey, DJ Soul.
I did shows from Gary. He did BB Winans. I took the Donnie McClurkin show.
Okay.
Yeah. So that had to be Gary Bernstein.
So that's what it was. So he called me. He asked for a mix. I did a mix. He was brutally honest about my mix. He said, that was a train wreck. Yes. And I didn't know about train wrecks because I wasn't editing. And to this day, I still don't edit my mix. I do it live.
Yeah.
So if there's a mess up, I did it live. And most people want their mixes clean on air, and I understand. But if I worked hard at it, I could probably do it. But I'm so used to doing it live.
So what do they do when they edit? Because I mean, even your mixes, they sound clean, even though you're doing it live. I know the mixes that you submit to me every day. You've already recorded them live. You created that live, and then you send it to us.
Correct.
So what do they do different?
So
when you're talking about editing?
They have softwares where you can load a song in on one line. It's almost like tracking a record. Mm-hmm. They load a song on one line, find another song in that same BPM, put it on the second line.
Beats per minute.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. See, that's why I stay in the background. And then you add more songs in the same BPMs and put them in lines, in the different track lines. And then they create a mix from there where they don't have to actually be on turntables or CDJs or whatever you're using to do it. You can just load it in.
Just move your tracks.
That's it. And so
we're not used to that. We used to you.
Yeah, I'm used to it. Now, I cannot say what I'm not. But it was hard for me. Mm-hmm. Hard is now DJing with no audience in front of me.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing for me because I get vibes off of people.
Gotcha.
So I enjoy going live because to hear somebody say, throw in that John P. Key, and I get to throw it in and I make it work. And they're like, all right. So I go off of that.
Remember we used to do requests.
Yes.
Like our Praise Power crew members would follow us and be like, hey, can you throw in the so-and-so? It'd be a whole different BPM. It'd be a whole They want to go to a worship song. I was like, how you gonna do this? And then Soul would keep that beat. Next thing you know, it would be a worship song underneath it. Yes. I was like, what in the world? This dude is fire.
Yes.
That is crazy. So there are some Praise Power crew members that's on. Mm-hmm. And George May, of course.
Come on, George.
George was like our unofficial producer.
Yes.
He was kind of galvanizing everything and keeping us all together. So hey, George.
Hey, George.
And so if you're on the thread, you have questions for me or so from our conversation. We're just talking about his history. This is a part of the More Than Music podcast, and we've been spotlighting businesses. Today, we're spotlighting Blessed in the City. That's Soul's company. Yes. And so we're really excited about talking about his history and things and how he's ended up being this amazing DJ that he is every single day. So moving forward, I know now you're teaching.
Yes.
Right. So I'm telling you, he recreates himself. But let's go back a little bit because during the time, before we get into the space of where you're teaching, during the times that you were doing the Praise Power mix and you and I were together, you literally suffered a stroke.
Yes.
Let's talk about that time because you would come in studio and with a fever, feeling bad, you didn't care. You still came and you still did your mix and then you would drag yourself out. And I'll be like, so what are you doing? First off, how did you end up having a stroke? I know you was a single man at the time.
Yes.
Because I would stay on you about the stuff you were eating.
Yes.
And doing.
Yes.
Talk about it.
So every night I would probably go out to one of those fast food restaurants and I would eat my fried whatever, my potatoes, whatever, and I just eat whatever. And normally my dinner may consist of a gallon of juice, 3 bags of chips, 4 crimpets, and those pies. That would be my dinner.
What?
That's what I would do. And that's why I was so heavy back then, breathing. That's how I'm sorry. If
and was.
Yes. And I'm sitting over here trying not to breathe like that now because I think I'm used to it. So yes, that was my dinner every night. Yep, just gallon of juice, crimpets, chips, and pies. And that's what I would do.
Why would you do that?
I didn't know no better. I didn't have the education that I have now.
You knew not about to eat food. Real food.
No, I thought it was filling me up. That was filling me up. And I thought I was good because nothing was happening to me at that time. Mm. And it wasn't until, there was a moment. Now we could probably go into the teaching.
Yeah.
But I was teaching at a place and a student asked me a question and my answer seemed off to me. It didn't seem intelligent.
Yeah. I
said, something's not right. So I'm wobbling. I was like, hey, can somebody call the ambulance? And the ambulance came and they took my pressure. It was like, hey, you 200 over, I think it was like one something. Yes.
200.
200 over one something. It's like, what you want to do? I said, don't worry about it. I'm going to go home. I'm going to take my meds and I'll be all right.
So you were already on blood pressure medicine?
Yes.
Still eating crazy like that?
Yes, because I didn't know better. I probably knew better. I just didn't want to. I was being rebellious. I still had that spirit. So I went home. I took the pills, and I thought I was good until the next morning. I went to go get my car emissions, and I noticed my arms just drooping. I was like, oh, Lord, I still got to make this emission. I get to emissions and it's closed. I'm like, oh, I'm limped. I'm like, so I drove myself to my primary care doctor.
I remember you saying that.
And I
said, why didn't you go to the emergency room?
Listen, I ain't want to leave my car nowhere. This is in my head. I'm thinking, don't leave your car out. So I drove myself to the emergency, my primary care. And he's like, why you come here?
Right.
I said, because I thought maybe you can give me some meds and I'll be all right. He said, we got to call the ambulance. And so he did. And I told them, don't tell nobody. I wanted to just go in and just, go through this process by myself and be out of it. For some odd reason, my mom and dad were there. I was like, how y'all get here? So, yeah. And then they said I was having a stroke. And the hospital that took real good care of me, that is not normally my hospital. But that doctor at that time took me there. He knew something that I didn't. All right, I'm about to cry.
I know. Because we all, because this was all happening while we were doing the Praise Power Mix. And it was just like one day. I mean, I remember you coming in saying you didn't feel too well and you had a fever. And I kept saying, so you need to get checked. You need to go get checked. You need to go. She was like, I'm good. I'm just going to go home and get some rest. I'm good. And you kept ignoring me. And then the next day it was like, he's in the hospital. We got to play an old mix. I was like, he's where? He's in the hospital.
Yeah.
I was like, and I think I was on my way. I was on my way to Philly or something. And I stopped in and I saw how bad off you were. And I was trying not to cry, not to be like, because your mouth was drooping, your speech was slurred.
Yes.
I was like, so.
I know. And now in my head, I'm thinking about all the people who paid me for their wedding. I was like, I gotta get up out of here. So I'm sorry but that's how I felt. And I'm like, I gotta get up out of here. My mom like, no, you're not. But in my head, I'm like, I gotta come out of this, Lord. So I was thinking about all the people that paid me for their wedding. And I felt like, oh man, I got to pay them back.
Literally all your life, that's literally how you survived. It was like gig after gig after gig, opportunity after opportunity, which is why in the beginning I said you recreate yourself. Like you continue to recreate yourself in those areas. From being a plumber, you still have those skills. You still have, I know Ms. Hughes and a lot of folk would call you to fix things in their home and you would try to figure it out. You would get it done. And so from a musician to a DJ and all the things and now teaching, you just kind of keep recreating yourself.
Yes.
I brought up the situation of the stroke because it was a pivotal time for us, for those of us who were Praise Power Crew members and just for those of us that were close to you. Like, I was concerned because I wanted to be like that big sister that was going to take care of you. Remember, I was like sending groceries to your house. And so then you changed your lifestyle.
Yes.
You drastically changed your lifestyle. Talk about it.
So I noticed that what I was eating wasn't right. And it contributed to the high blood pressure, the cholesterol. So what I wound up doing was becoming totally vegan, 100% vegan. And I tried this lifestyle. Now, some of the food that I tasted didn't sit well with me, my taste buds at the beginning. Lord Jesus. Yes. But I'm still vegan at this time.
Yeah. I mean, and sticking to it. I'm very, very proud of you. You dropped a lot of weight. Your skin looks clearer.
Come on.
And you married a nurse. You married a medical professional.
Yes.
Which is almost how the relationship got started, right? Wasn't she just when she realized? I mean, I know she met you. Let's talk about it. How you met your wife now, Sonia. Hey, sister.
Hey, yes. So what happened was there was a skating event that was taking place.
I was I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. But I was kind of relieved when I knew she worked in the medical field. And this was now your love interest, because I was like, okay, she gonna really make sure he does right. But go ahead.
So I was DJing at the skating event, And she said she saw me from afar off, like, I don't know who he is, but I'm going to wave. And then she went on Instagram and said, I waved at you. Why you didn't wave back? I'm like, I didn't even see you.
Right.
I didn't. But then she said, showed the picture. This is who I am. I was like, okay, all right.
She cute or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah. And one thing that struck me about Sonia is she saw the process of the stroke and coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew I was in a relationship before she came along.
Mm-hmm.
And when she saw the weight loss and all, she commented. She said, oh, it looks good on you. I said, thank you. She said, let me back off because I know you're in a relationship. I said, I'm no longer in a relationship. She's like, okay, so you ready for me? I said, all right, yes.
Wow.
Yes. So she said to me, she said, one thing I would have done for you because I love you so, you would never have a stroke with me because I will make sure you're eating the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, shucks,
you
that's
were
it. Yep, that was it.
Smitten.
I was like, oh, shucks, somebody gonna look out for me. Yes.
Right.
So and that was it. That drew me in. Bah, bah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like that.
Yeah.
That's how you got drawn in?
Yep.
Do it again?
I can't do it again, but I can do the whap, but I can't. I don't even know what that, yeah. Lord Jesus, help that guy. Anyway, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, we do have some questions.
Uh-oh.
So Brother Richie Rich is asking, do you have a website for your mixes? Like, how can he go and check out your mixes?
All right. So I don't know. My manager's here. He could probably help me out something, but I think it is on my www.djsoul73.com. Mm-hmm. If not, you can go to Mixcloud and / DJ Soul 73. And you should be able to find my.
We used to send people to Mixcloud all the time. So it's so you can also go to djsoul73.com.
All
right.
.net, .org.
All three?
Yes. Listen, someone told me
to do that. Register all three
just
ways.
in case somebody messes up and I didn't put com, I put net. You can
djsoul73.com, .org, .net. Any one of those or your socials, right? They can go to Facebook, they can go to Insta, DJ Soul 73.
Correct.
And you can go in his DMs and he'll tell you where to go to get his mixes. And you can listen every single day at 12 o'clock. Praise 104.1, praisedc.com. Check out the midday show, 12 o'clock, DJ Soul's Praise Power Mix.
Correct.
All right. Not a shameless plug. It's my show. All right. George May says, Blessed in the City. How many DJs are in Blessed in the City now?
Right now, we have about 6 working members at Blessed in the City. So,
cool.
But how I try to.
Should I join Blessed in the City?
Sure. But this is how
I don't mix though.
But you can. So this is what I try to share with the people who are under Blessed in the City. I let them know you are your own entity. Mm-hmm. You just carrying this umbrella to help you out, but I want to see you grow as an individual as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we don't want. I feel like if I'm holding you too long, I'm not doing my job. Mm-hmm. So I want to feel like I have given you everything that you need to get to be able to survive on your own.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So in the Blessed in the City, we're not here to keep you hostage. Mm-hmm. We're here to teach you how to become your own business as well.
I love that. I love that. So, so how about DJs who might be interested in learning? Like I know you taught a whole school system, right?
Yes.
How to DJ.
Yes. So I say hit my social up and I'll do my best to help. But
that falls under the umbrella of Blessed in the City too?
Yes.
Where you do training?
Correct. Correct.
So, got you. All right, guys. Yeah. You think you have an ear to do it? Think you know how to mix? You might be able to learn under DJ Soul. And so, so George was asking, do you all do events in the community? So absolutely.
Most definitely.
Yeah,
most definitely.
That would be a yes.
And then I at least without my manager hearing, at least one free event.
Your manager's in the building. He about to strangle you.
Oh Lord, yeah. But
your manager's my manager. Well, he's my agent, but he's your manager.
One free event.
My manager's here too, so she's looking at me like, "Don't you say you doing that?"
One free event per year. One free event, and we have reached our free event for this year.
I love it. So, so since we started doing these mixes, and I got to figure out the exact date, but I know it's more than about 10 years. I've been at Praise. This year will be 14 years. And I think you came maybe like the 3rd year. I don't know. I don't remember. So like maybe 10 years, 11 years, maybe we've been doing this together. We forged a partnership. So Blessed in the City, Cheryl Jackson Enterprises, is like we support each other, right?
Yes.
So there are oftentimes people will book us together.
Correct.
So that I'm hosting it and you're mixing. But all the events that we create together too. You just did a huge after party for the big Mother's Day celebration that we collabed on, and I hosted both days, Baltimore and DC.
Thank you.
Because that's what we do.
Yes.
And we're about to go to Vegas.
Yes.
We're about to do a mansion party at Vegas.
Come on.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm gonna let you do the entertainment piece, right? I'll tell you who I'm showcasing.
Come on.
And you can bring in Dwight or whoever you want to bring in, right? To do it. So we'll let you do that. But we did that in 2018, and that mansion party was fire.
I still talk about it.
And people still talk about it. Anthony Brown was like, "You doing it again?" I was like, "I am." And so we're about to do that in July. Stellar Week. We're doing Thursday night, late night, 10 to 1 a.m. So I'm putting it out there for anybody who's going to the Stellar Awards to come and be a part of the mansion party, and anything that you see us do together. So I am like really, really honored that you wanted to do the podcast and just talk intimately. I didn't get too deep into your business. You know, I did want to point out the early marriage, the young marriage, and what you learned from that to share that with our audience, even from the situations of you having your stroke, so that people who are watching can know to start taking care of themselves.
Correct.
Right. And so how you even overcame that. Man, it was a time when you did that stroke that we literally, I mean, the whole Praise Power crew was like praying.
And I thank y'all.
Right?
Yes.
Sending money. Like it was a community.
Amen. Listen, and y'all can see me now. Thank y'all for your prayers. I can move that arm. It's no longer, thank you, Jesus. Yes, it's no longer.
And it's restored, like your speech restored.
Yes.
And everything.
Yes.
Do you think it's attributed to you changing your diet? I think from honey buns to vegan.
With the prayer, yes.
From honey buns and chips.
Yes, to vegan, yes. But with the prayers first, and then in the lifestyle change of the food, I believe so. And in the hospital that the doctor sent me to, I didn't know.
It was like was it the John Hopkins?
This was Sinai. I didn't know about Sinai. And I'll give you something else. And I know this was not about the business, and please forgive me.
No, it's fine.
Okay. So my godmother had a stroke, and they sent her to a hospital. When she got out, she looked like she did. My mom talked to her and said, "You need to go to the hospital that my son went to." Went to that hospital. Now she's walking like I did, like how I am now. Like she never had a stroke. So this hospital specializes in strokes.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, if y'all, Sinai, Baltimore.
Wow. And I know too, because my mom had one, that it really does matter the first few moments. So you were really blessed that you know, because you literally went somewhere, a couple places before you even got help. But it really, that those moments really matter from when you start getting care, right? To try to reverse it and stop them.
Correct.
Right. So how's your health now? You doing jujitsu? How you say that?
Jujitsu. Yes, I do that, and that helps me out. That helps me with my mental health as well. And this month is men's mental health. Correct?
Oh, it's men's mental health this month.
Yeah,
Last month was mental health awareness. So
but
this
month
men's?
is men's mental health.
Okay.
And so I do battle with mental health issues, and some of it is
I wouldn't have ever known that.
Okay, y'all saw that.
Just joking.
No, I know.
It's not a joke about it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. No,
Okay.
no, I get it. But thank you because I'm like, nobody ever tells me. Now y'all telling me. But no. So yes. So some of it came from being in the military, a lot of it. And now I'm starting to focus more on restoring my mind back.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Awesome. So, on a very serious note, I think that's awesome to even share, because most men won't, right? Or most people won't, and most people of color won't. So it's really interesting. I mean, it's really powerful that you would share and to say that you're paying attention to it and getting help for it. What are you doing to get help?
I have about 4 therapists. 4 of them. Somebody said I should be perfect by the time I come out. 4 therapists. Yes. So I have one for PTSD, one for anxiety, one for just me, and then a marriage counseling. Yes. So about 4.
It's okay to get help.
Yes.
It's okay to get help.
And that's what I love. And this help is helping me to be free. Because the old me wouldn't want to sit here.
Wow.
I'll be sweating.
Well, I'm glad I got the new you.
Thank you.
I'm glad I got the new you. Listen, this is the More Than Music podcast, and I am sitting with my friend, DJ Soul, who came on today. And we've been spotlighting businesses. And if you're interested in your business being spotlighted, then of course, check out what's scrolling on the bottom, right? And make sure you connect with Cheryl Jackson Enterprises, and we can schedule you too. But I really am big on wanting to support African-American businesses. All right. So one more question. Hey, Faith. Faith is asking, Dr. Faith Williams is asking, how did you learn how to eat vegan? That was a process.
Yes.
He was very fanatical about it at first, Faith. Let me tell you something. He was not playing with it at all. But go ahead. Tell them how you learned.
How did I learn how to eat vegan? Well, what I did was first I started with the fruits and vegetables that I knew. And so I was good with collard greens, string beans, all of that. And then the apples, the oranges. And then when I found out that they do fruit and lettuce meat, I was like, ooh, let me try that. So I tried that, and some of it tastes just like that.
Fruit and lettuce meat.
Yes. Oh, horrible. Yes. So then they got me a chance to go and check out other shops and test their product. And when I find one that tastes almost like what I was used to, that's the one I'm like, you could probably find me in there. Yes. So that's how I train myself. I find one that help my taste buds to feel like what I'm used to.
Right.
And my wife, she makes spaghetti with the vegan meatballs. Yep. And so we find stuff that we really enjoy, and just turn the meat around and turn some of the fried stuff around.
Gotcha.
And that helped me.
I love that, because you don't even eat dairy, right? You don't do
I don't do milk. So I don't do any animal products.
Gotcha.
So no eggs, no baby eggs. No.
No baby eggs?
No baby
What's the
eggs.
difference?
Oh, yeah. Baby eggs and grown people's eggs, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Egg is an egg.
Egg is an egg.
See, that's why I'm in therapy. Thank y'all. Y'all heard it here first.
All right. We're going to wrap up. Thank you. Listen, thank you all so much for joining us. Again, don't forget to like and share and tell everybody about the More Than Music podcast. It is my desire to kick off my podcast series with spotlighting businesses. And I really would love faith-based businesses. I would love African-American businesses. I will spotlight businesses that align with my core values. And so we're really excited about the opportunity to share and to use this platform, which belongs to me. Woo. I am so excited that, I've worked for people all my life, and I'm grateful, even to work for Radio One even now. But I'm actually grateful too that I'm able to create my own platform, right? And so this is where we are, and I'm excited. So thank you, DJ Soul, for being my special guest tonight.
I'm excited.
Now, before we go, tell everybody, I know DJ Soul 73.
Yes.
But tell everybody how to stay connected.
DJ Soul
That's
73.
It? Yeah.
DJ Soul 73. Stay connected.
On all socials.
On all socials.
Yep. Or DJSoul73.com.
On all websites.
Yes. On all website.net.org.
Yes.
Right. And then what else? For the mixes, go to Mixcloud. We put that in the chat. And that's it.
Listen, you have a beautiful place. I really enjoy this.
You like my little podcast session?
I love it. This is great.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you to Kowo and Kresh, who allowed me, Kowo and Kresh in Alexandria, Virginia, who literally built a podcast studio for me, and it's been in partnership. Yes. So if you haven't seen episode 1, you'll see that I was talking to the owners of Kowo and Kresh, is where our podcast center lives. So thank you all so much for joining me tonight. Don't forget to like and share. Let me know that you've watched. Tell me what you think about it. Introduce yourself. Let's have a community of family and friends. Hey, Praise Power Crew members, thank y'all for joining us tonight. We will talk again, I believe next week, but make sure you stay connected to see when the next podcast is. All right. Have a blessed night.